Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're trying to optimize your off-grid or hybrid solar setup, you're exactly where you need to be. Today, we're moving way past that simplified marketing math you usually see online. We're going to uncover the true engineering breakdown of what it actually means to run a 2 kilowatt geyser or water heater on daytime solar. We're going to look at the math, the hardware, and the reality of how your system behaves under serious pressure.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our agenda for today. First, we'll bust the solar shifting myth, then tackle the real energy math, move on to battery savings and timing, and finally, unpack some hidden hardware safety risks.
Section 1. The solar shifting myth. You know that old advice, right? People are always saying, just run your heavy appliances during the day to save money. Well, the engineering reality is way more complex. Shifting a massive continuous load isn't just a magic switch you flip. It actually introduces continuous stress on your inverter. It can cause MPPT clipping, which is basically where your solar charge controller just can't process the sudden spikes and drops in load efficiently. Plus, it has severe battery C-rate impacts. That means your battery gets drained incredibly fast, generating excess heat if, say, a cloud simply passes over and your solar production suddenly drops. Section 2. The real energy math. To truly understand what's happening inside your system, we need to look at two foundational ideas. First, power equals voltage times current. And crucially, energy equals power times time for AC loads. When you shift a massive load, like a geyser, from nighttime to daytime, you're fundamentally changing where your system's energy actually comes from. You're moving away from a stored energy model and relying on a direct generation model.
And here is the magic number that drives everything we're talking about today: 2. Most standard household geysers are rated at 2 kilowatts. Now, that is a heavy, continuous draw. It literally means 2 kilowatts of power are consumed every single hour that the heating element is active. It hits your system with a solid 2 kilowatt demand, and it just stays there. To put that into perspective, it's like running 20 100-watt incandescent light bulbs at the exact same time, non-stop.
So, if we plug that back into our energy formula, the total energy demand of your geyser equals 2 times T, where T is your total daily heating time in hours. If your geyser runs for 2 hours, that's 4 kilowatt hours of total energy consumed. If you just leave it to run at night, that massive energy block must come entirely from your stored battery bank or the grid.
Section 3. Battery savings and timing.
So how do we actually save here? The core savings mechanism breaks down into two concepts. For battery savings, the actual energy you save equals what the geyser would have used at night minus whatever daytime solar offset you achieve. And for the solar offset itself, your actual battery or grid use during the day is just your total load minus the available solar. Essentially, you're bypassing the battery completely by consuming the solar energy directly the exact second it's produced. What's absolutely vital to grasp here is that these savings, they aren't just financial. Every single kilowatt hour you shift away from the battery is a massive operational victory. By powering the geyser with direct solar, you reduce daily cycle wear. You dramatically extend the overall lifespan of the batteries, and you lower the depth of discharge stress. Simply put, your batteries just don't have to work nearly as hard. Now, success here isn't just a simple day versus night switch. Think about the reality of a solar day. In the morning, with low irradiance, running a geyser forces the system right back to using the battery. Midday offers peak irradiance, which is your absolute optimal window for solar offset. By evening, there's zero irradiance, meaning full battery or grid demand again. So success is entirely about timing your load to match that exact irradiance curve. But wait, what happens if there's a peak mismatch? Let's say a heavy storm cloud rolls in while your geyser's running. Your solar output drops, and instantly the system falls back to battery support to maintain that continuous 2 kilowatt draw. If your geyser runs cleanly during peak solar, your battery barely discharges. But if it runs outside peak solar, even just partially, it incurs silent cycle degradation. Your batteries are quietly paying the price for poor timing. Section 4. Hidden hardware safety risks. Let's get real for a second. A 2 kilowatt resistive heating load is not a minor appliance. It is a massive, relentless stress test for every single component in your electrical path. It introduces some very specific failure points: thermal overload risks, voltage drop along cables, relay failures for mechanical switching, battery cycling confusion, and, of course, that peak mismatch we just talked about. The crucial takeaway here is that inverters have strict thermal limits. A sustained 2 kilowatt draw generates significant heat within the inverter's internal components. If you're running an undersized inverter, or maybe one that lacks proper cooling, running a geyser continuously for 2 hours can easily overwhelm it. We're talking about system shutdowns or even permanent hardware damage.
And it's not just the inverter. We've got to think about the physical wiring and switching. Sustained current for water heating is incredibly demanding. Low-quality relays, contactors, and undersized cables become active failure points. When a switch opens or closes under a heavy, continuous resistive load, it can cause relay arcing. Plus, if your cables are too long or too thin, you get severe voltage drop, and that translates directly to wasted energy in the form of dangerous heat.
So how do we build a safe, reliable system against these risks? Well, you absolutely must ensure proper grounding to prevent leakage risks. You need to verify correct breaker sizing so the system trips before wires literally melt. And always, always check the manufacturer-rated continuous load capacity for your specific equipment. Please remember to treat low-voltage power system design seriously, and definitely consult qualified professionals to handle these critical hardware checks. I want to leave you with this final, really powerful thought from our source material. If your geyser runs outside peak solar hours, your battery is silently paying the cost. Timing is everything in solar load shifting. Think about your own energy setup for a second. Are your high draw loads truly aligned with your peak solar production? Or is your system just quietly degrading your expensive batteries? Getting the math and the timing right doesn't just save you money on your electric bill, it protects your entire off-grid investment. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep optimizing.